So because I'm going to float a veneer, a resurfacing concrete material over this, I want to make sure that my tile isn't loose anywhere and that it's cleaned up along the edge, because I'm going to have to float this very carefully. See, there's a little bit of carpet edge. I'm going to have to float that very carefully along that edge. That's going to be kind of tricky in itself. If I get anything on there, I'm going to have to clean it off. I don't know what else to do about it. I can't really put masking tape there, then float, then the masking tape is going to be below the floating surface, you know? So it's a little bit of a project, but I think it's going to look really super good when we get done with it. Make sure you can see all this. Okay, so you want to do something like this over at your place? Lots of people are nowadays putting a stain and sealer on their floors, you know, over concrete subfloor. And there's concrete underneath here. Now, if there was just wood underneath there, if this was just wood, let's say a plywood subfloor, I guess you could encapsulate that, resurface over that with concrete. You know, it's just a veneer. It doesn't have any sand in it, and there's materials at the hardware store for that. I don't know how well it sticks to wood subfloor because I've never done it. Okay? So I'm going to do just a quick once over here. And I see little bits of paint here on the floor that's sticking out. You might see little areas of sheetrock mud, let's say. Carpet fibers that I have to get out of here, because I want to have this all ready. So that when I start putting the concrete surfacing material down, I don't want to have to keep stopping and starting. You know? So I'll end up sweeping all this. I'll wipe down this baseboard. This baseboard is pretty dirty. Now's a good chance to clean that all up. Okay. Okay, so I'm continuing along the wall here, resituate my light, and because I have this tile, see, I've got a crack on that tile. Oh, there's another nail right there. Man. Well, so far so good. Sometimes I might come across a little piece of tile that's loose, but so far I haven't really come across very many of them. But if I did, then I would have to decide what to do with it. I guess when I come across that, I'll show you. Now see right here, I've got a little piece of tile right there that's kind of loose, see? If I wanted to, I could dig that out with a little screwdriver or something and pry that out or break it off, slide it out. But it's pushed underneath the base, and it looks like if I do that, nothing's really going to come loose, because when I float over this, I'm going to have concrete veneer material in there that's going to hold that down, and then I'm going to float right over the top of that. So that's never going to come loose. It's up against the wall too. So I know nobody's going to slide their chair there. They're going to walk on it back and forth from the front door to the kitchen, to the front hallway, whatever. Okay, so that piece I'm going to leave just like that. That's okay. I'm going to check here. Here's that transition. The tile was taken out from here over so that they can install this laminate flooring in the kitchen years ago. Okay, now see, there's a little piece of tile there that seems to be loose a little bit, but again, it's underneath. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. When I sweep up, I'll get most of that. And then when I sweep up, I'll clean this stuff out. I can look under here and decide what am I going to do around these edges. Here's a little bit of caulking from the door. Oh, come on. Not wanting to come. Might have to get my sheetrock knife for that. And I've just noticed that this flooring material is not very strong, especially right there in the corner. Okay. And ultimately, I'm going to have to decide what to do with this edge. We'll talk about that later. First things first, just to clean up on that edge. I'm just going to keep going along this edge here now. That's another thing I've got to do. It's just part of the project. You know, none of this stuff is hard. It's just knowing what to do. You keep watching these videos and you will know what to do, won't you? I got some carpet remnant there. Just clean that up. I didn't scrape this with a big scraper. I should have, but I can do it with this small one because it's just right down here. And I'll just keep moseying on down this edge. And see, you'll notice there's some plastic right along here. Before they installed this laminate flooring in the kitchen, this stuff, see, you can lift up on it. And this is called a free-floating floor. See how that raises up? That's floating. They put it all together and it's just like plopped right down onto the floor and it can move a little bit. That's what it's called. That's why it's called free-floating, because it's not glued down. And they put it looks like they put a plastic type, it's not plastic, it's like a thin foam layer sheeting underneath this to catch any moisture that's coming up from the subfloor, let's say. Because you get moisture underneath a free-floating wood floor like this, it'll expand the wood. And that's why you've got to leave it short at both ends. That's why they've installed trim around the edges, because you want to leave a gap from left to right about 5/16 of an inch. You don't want it tight, because if it's tight and if this gets moisture in it, it will expand, believe it or not. And if you got it too tight at both ends, or one end, let's say, and not enough on the other, it could grow. And if it's got nowhere to go, guess where it goes? It puckers right at the joint. If it's from front to back, it'll pucker right here up at a little peak. You're going to feel that. You're going to be like, my word, how'd that happen? Well, that's how it would happen, because it was installed improperly. Okay, so just take your time. Now see, here's a little piece that was loose that popped up. That's okay. When I float this, now see, this piece here is loose. See that? How it's up here. Now if I push it down, chances are it's going to pop here because it's so far. Now what I can do is just maybe remove just a little bit of it, because it's right where this area is here. This whole section is going to have to be floated out, as well as everything else anyways, okay? You just have to kind of think about your project and what your next step is. See, we're going to have to decide how we're going to finish up this edge right here, from this transition down to here. We don't want to stub our feet on that. We'll talk about that on a different video, because this video happens to be about cleaning up and getting ready for the next step on this project. You see, here's a loose piece right there, but it's up against the bank. That's going to be fine after I float it. That little bit right there, had I left this little bit of paint, it would make it difficult for me to finish and resurface right tight to the baseboard right there. That's the type of stuff I'm looking for. And that's why I'm taking my cutting knife along there. I got my mat here. That's just a garden mat, and I use that for everything. That way I don't get my knees all messed up, my pants all messed up, but really to protect my knees from kneeling on anything unforeseen, and it's just going to prolong my knees a little bit. Always kind of go the extra mile when it has to do with your health. Okay, well, so far so good. There's not much loose tile around the edges. This is where the pocket door was, so I can check that out. Go around that carefully. I got this little bit over here to do still. And yeah, it's going to take you a few minutes to do this, but you know what? If you weren't doing it, you'd be paying the carpet installer to do it. He'd be charging you for this. Something that you could do yourself. I've got a little loose piece right there, so I'm just going to take that out because it wasn't even glued down anywhere. Okay. I'm going to have to end up doing the same thing. Just like all that I just did, I'm going to have to do that in the hallway here. Double check everything. Just spend some time, do it right in your other bedroom. And I got one closet to do here too. Okay, that's your next step.